Hi everyone, and everyone on YouTube. My name is Leah, and I'm teaching today from the Dzogchen Retreat Center with my fellow interns and my teacher, Dzogchen Khenpo Choga Rinpoche. So there are many misunderstandings floating around about positive and negative thinking and positive and negative karma. And today I'd like to teach on those four things, and specifically the differences between them. Hopefully by laying out some of the key differences between positive thinking, positive and negative thinking, and positive and negative karma, then I can kind of maybe clear up any confusion that anyone may have, hopefully. So first, let's discuss positive and negative thinking. According to the Buddha Path, a beautiful practice text written by my teacher Dzogchen Khenpo Choga Rinpoche, the 5 types of positive thinking are renunciation, compassion, faith, love, and wisdom. And the 5 types of negative thinking are anger, jealousy, greed, pride, and ignorance. So I don't have time to go into detail on those different types of thinking, but if you'd like more information on those, please see one of the other teaching videos by one of my fellow interns here that are posted by Dzogchen Khenpo. So now I'll discuss the differences between positive and negative thinking. So the first and foremost distinction between positive and negative thinking is that the result of positive thinking is always happiness, and the result of negative thinking is always suffering. So it's important to know that there's no exception to this rule. For example, think about the last time that you really felt like deep love for someone. You really wanted them to be happy. And then think about the results of that type of thinking. You know, did it have a good result? Did you feel good afterwards? And the answer is probably yes. You know, you probably did. And now think about the last time you felt intense rage or hatred towards some person. Do you think, and then think about the result, you know, how you felt after, how you felt during, and how you felt afterwards. Did you feel good about it? Did you feel good about yourself? And the answer to that is probably no, not really. And could you classify that as suffering? And the truth is, yes, you could. Okay, so where do positive thinking and negative thinking lead to in a broader picture, in a big picture? And so according to the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni, positive thinking is the path and the way to transcend samsara. Samsara is the cycle of death and rebirth that we're caught in as sentient beings with ego clinging. So positive thinking is basically our one-way ticket out of samsara and all the way to Buddha. On the other hand, negative thinking will lead you deeper into samsara, into the lower realms of samsara, which are plagued with suffering. So that's the direction we don't want to go. Some specific differences between positive and negative thinking. Specifically, positive thinking includes love and compassion. These types of thinking have more focus on others. So when we focus more on others, then our thinking tends to be less self-centered and less selfish, which can lead to positive results for us and for others. Negative thinking, specifically anger and greed, is really focused on the self. And when we focus a lot on ourselves, then we tend to be more sensitive. So then negative thinkings like anger and greed are more easily aroused in us. Another interesting thing, what kind of physical results come from positive thinking and negative thinking? So if positive thinking produces happiness, and happiness, we know chemically you have endorphins in your body which make you feel good. So positive thinking definitely has really good results. And on the other hand, negative thinking produces really harmful chemicals in the body. Take, for example, fear and anxiety, right, which fall in the department of anger. Those lead to the release of certain types of chemicals in your body, like adrenaline, for example. And so this will, 1, break down your immune system, so you get sick. 2, increases your blood pressure, which leads to plaque buildup in arteries, which will eventually lead to a heart attack. So you can kind of see how, step by step, your negative thinking will slowly kill you. Positive thinking, okay, another difference on the next one. Positive thinking is thinking with wisdom, and it's based on the intention not only to help oneself, but also to help other beings, right? Whereas negative thinking is based on the intention to help only myself and actually to harm other beings. So you can see the difference there. It's not like you're only thinking about yourself and negative thinking, you're only thinking about others with positive thinking. You're still thinking about yourself too with positive thinking, but with the negative thinking, you're thinking only of yourself, and instead of wanting to help others, you actually want to harm them too. So you can really see the difference there. let's see. Okay, another simple but really important difference. This is just straight view. Positive thinking is the cause for my happiness and the condition for others' happiness. And negative thinking is the cause for my suffering and the condition for others' suffering. There's like a lot of wisdom in that short, small statement. Lastly, I'll just share, positive thinking is happiness and negative thinking is suffering, period. And now I'll move on to some differences between positive karma and negative karma. So again, first and foremost, my positive karma is always the result of my positive thinking. And my negative karma is always the result of my negative thinking. There are no exceptions to this rule. A virtuous positive intention will always have a good result, and a negative intention will always have a bad result. Now, a lot of you might be saying that, no, that's not true, because I've had a lot of times where I had really good intention, and it totally blew up in my face, and everything went wrong. And that's true, that can happen. But it's also true that you may not have had 100% positive intention. You may have had some hidden motivations underneath, or there may have been some circumstances that you weren't aware of, and that unfortunately is just due to ignorance, right? So it definitely holds true that every time you have really good intention, you'll get really good results. When you have positive thinking, you'll get positive karma. So, next one. Since positive thinking produces positive karma, and then the accumulation of this positive karma is what helps lead one out of samsara into Buddha. Likewise, the accumulation of negative karma, like we talked about negative thinking, negative karma, they really go together. Those will pull you down into the depths of samsara, into the lower realms full of suffering. Okay, so this is another important concept about positive and negative thinking and positive and negative karma. This idea that they're inversely proportional. So if you can, think of a scale. Okay, when you put weight on one side, that side goes down, and the other side automatically tilts up, right? So this is how positive thinking and negative thinking, positive karma and negative karma work. Think of them as weights, okay? So when you have positive thinking, it increases your, this is positive thinking. When you have positive thinking, you increase your positive karma, and at the same time, so let's say, let's go down. So you're adding weight on, so you increase your positive karma, at the same time, your negative karma gets lighter, it goes up. Right? So they're inversely proportional. So as one increases, the other one actually decreases at the same time. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck, which is really awesome. However, it also works the other way. As you increase your negative thinking, this gets heavier, right? This also, your positive karma gets lighter. So it can, unfortunately, also work against you if you're having a lot of negative thinking. And I think I'm almost done. The next one, is important to really remember and to always keep in your heart. And that's that if we understand, so if we understand this, then when we're practicing Dharma, we don't need to have like unnecessary fears. Because positive karma will always ripen as happiness, and negative karma will always ripen as suffering. Always. Like we talked about the results of positive thinking being happiness, and the results of negative thinking being suffering. And this is how that works. Because if positive thinking produces positive karma, that will result in happiness, and vice versa with negative thinking, negative karma, and suffering. So another way to view this is that positive thinking brings forth the ripening of my past positive karma, and this will manifest for me as good conditions. On the other hand, my negative thinking will trigger the ripening of negative karma, and this will manifest as bad conditions. And this is really an important rule because it fights the following misconception, which is that practicing Dharma leads to the swift ripening of negative karma. And this is not true, and it can't happen because there's no way that a bad result can come from a good intention. And that's all I have to say on this subject. Thank you.